Oh, right before I leave for a considerable amount of time, we get easily, and this is bias aside, probably the best booking decision WWE has made in a long time. In essence, you not only got a brand new Universal Champion, you got the return of Triple H helping someone win the championship, and on top of that, in all essence, I think we've seen the double turn. I think Rollins is now going to be a face. I think you see the reformation of the Shield out of this. I think Rollins and Reigns against Jericho is probably going to happen down the line. It makes sense to me. But the fact remains that on August 29th, 2016, Mr. Wrestling, Kevin Steen, former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, has joined the other list of former ROH champions like Bryan Danielson and Tyler Black. And in 2016, Kevin Owens is your WWE Universal Champion.
And there's one left.
And interestingly enough, though, obviously it's very appropriate. Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy's like, you were right. Here's the thing, though. The great thing about that is, Travis, that makes it more appropriate is the fact that you played Glorious, which is Bobby Roode's theme. And Bobby Roode is also a fellow Canadian, so it makes sense.
Bobby Roode next to get the Universal title, Illuminati confirmed.
I mean, seriously, this has really been a roller coaster ride with WWE booking lately. Like, they gave the title to Finn Balor, which was tremendous booking. He got hurt. If you want to hear about what our thoughts are on that, go back to last week's podcast and the beginning of the show. And we basically led to that, and then we had to strip him of the title, and they set up this bizarre tournament, and we come down to the final four being Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, and Big Cass, of all people. And like I said, I just messaged Ashley because he's still suffering from fatigue from going through the GamesCon he was at this weekend. And that's the reason why there's no Gaming with Ash. And it'll be up on Wednesday. But he basically wanted me to message him who the new Universal Champion was live. And I simply put in all caps with exclamation points, dreams come true. Because they did. And in 2016, we have another former Ring of Honor World Champion that is now a WWE World Champion. I think it's kind of awesome that you have someone with Owen in their name is the Universal Champion. I think it's quite appropriate. Yeah, Jeremy, we'll talk about Amber Gallows actually later tonight. That's not a problem at all. Welcome to a very happy edition of the WWE Raw Popcast. My name is Sir Owen. Joining me, as always, we have an abbreviated version of our Popcaster panel. First off, we have Travis.
Okay, I'm about to go off on some people.
Oh boy.
What's this hashtag WWE Texarkana?
WWE Texarkana?
Yes.
Okay, what's wrong with it?
It's tomorrow's SmackDown show. Apparently, they're fucking recording it now.
Are you kidding?
What an incredible crowd at hashtag WWE Texarkana. At Natty by Nature brought her A game, but it was Natty no. At Becky Lynch WWE.
Hold on. Let's go to the wonderful thing that is .com and find out if there is actually a SmackDown taping tomorrow.
Probably a house show.
Travis, what? It's a live house show. Tomorrow night SmackDown is at the American Airlines Arena in Dallas, Texas. I believe tickets are still available. And if you look at the WWE.com/events section, you'll see that on September 5th, on Labor Day, Raw returns to Casnass City, Missouri.
Wow.
It says Casnass City, Missouri.
Also, you had Cena beating AJ at the live event. Just letting y'all know.
So yeah, Ashley may join us. We're not sure. Yeah, Jeremy Mills is actually saying the same thing you are in chat, Travis. So
Okay, well, also apparently happening tonight in Texarkana, Dean Ambrose defending the WWE Universal title.
are you kidding?
So apparently Dean Ambrose is defending the WWE Universal title tonight in Texarkana.
Well, I'm sorry. He does not have the Universal title. We
That
will
is
talk
owned
about
by-
that later.
It's owned by Kevin Motherfucking.
Okay, let's get to this, shall we? So we are going to talk about Raw. Like I said, Ashley is away. Before we get going, I do need to officially welcome Will.
Hello. I just want to. I have not got a chance to say this yet on a wrestling podcast. I want to apologize for not being on lately. It's just been crazy with school and personal stuff. But I am back, and let's just say I'm not going away.
Well, you
So
are just for like a week or two. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean, douchebag.
Whoa!
Hold on. Let's calm it down a little bit because I hate to start off the show on such a downer, but I kind of have to. So obviously, when I'm at work, it's not easy to keep up on the Twitter. So I basically get things sent to me. Like I get them sent in Popcaster chat. That's how I find out news. That's like my news in the world. So when I take a survey, it's like, oh, and how do you get news? Popcast Network chat. It's probably not going to fit, and it's not going to make any sense to anyone but us, but still. And I found out something that Will sent me a message on Facebook, and that is the fact that yesterday, Harry Fujiwara ended up passing away at his home in Clarksville, Tennessee. Real quick, actually, right outside of Clarksville. Actually, he lived in Clarksville and now he moved to Knoxville. A really interesting thing about Mr. Fuji that I'm sure I don't think you knew this, Will. You know what Mr. Fuji's job was after getting out of the wrestling business?
Oh, God, my dad told me because he, of course, grew up watching legends like Mr. Fuji, and he told me, and I honestly can't remember what my dad said.
Well, let me just put it this way. Me and Mr. Fujiwara run in the same circles because leading up after he left the wrestling industry, he was an usher at a movie theater in Knoxville.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Mr. Fuji, one of the greatest managers in the history of the WWF. He's done a lot of things. One of the major things he did, a lot of people really latched on to him for throwing the ceremonial salt in his opponent's eyes, like the ones that he was managing against. He was working with the Powers of Pain. And most fans like that are not like older fans, I'm not saying older in age, but like know more about like the older days of wrestling, like the golden ages of wrestling, they would not realize that Mr. Fuji is a former WWF tag team champion.
Yep. And for those of you young audiences, if you don't know what WWF stands for, it is the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
That is correct.
Danny McMahon.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing about that is Mr. Fuji, he was a tag team champion with Professor Toru Tanaka. And once he basically retired from active competition, he ended up coming back to the WWF, then called, and he became a manager. I mean, he worked stuff with Mr. Saito, and I mean, they did a lot of things. Like they had a program with a lot of the great tag teams of the day. They worked with Tony Garea and Rick Martel, and they worked with the Strongbows. One of the major things was, like I said, in 1985 when he became a manager, and he was kind of fashioned after the Bond villain Odd Job, pretty much, because he had the hat and he had the little pencil-thin mustache, and he carried a cane, and he basically wore a suit. I mean, he was like a big deal when it came to managing tag teams. He was a tag team manager.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's worked with a lot of great people. When he was working with the Powers of Pain, he was working with Demolition, and he actually had to work some of those matches. So they did 3-on-2 handicap matches, like WrestleMania 5. And like he worked with the Orient Express, which was Pat Tanaka and Akio Sato, and then Akio Sato got replaced by Kato, which is Paul Diamond. Which is funny because they were Diamond and Tanaka were bad company in the AWA, so it's not like they didn't have history. The thing that most newer fans know about Mr. Fuji, and I'm sure Will probably agree with this, is the managing of Yokozuna.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that Mr. Fuji was the one at WrestleMania 10 who cost Bret the Hitman Hart the WWF World Heavyweight Championship.
God almighty.
And the stuff with when Hogan came out and took the title after the show was pretty much over, and then Fuji was in the corner of Yoko when Yoko beat Hogan thanks to Harvey Whippleman blowing up the camera in his eyes. I think it was a flash bulb in his eyes. I thought that was awesome. He's done a lot of things. But that also teamed working with Yokozuna at WrestleMania 12. That was the last appearance he made for the company.
Mm-hmm.
So Yoko was a babyface this time, which is really interesting. And I think it was really funny that Yoko, when he was working as a babyface, he actually had Mr. Fuji carry out an American flag instead of the Japanese flag, which they have done throughout the years.
Mm.
It was weird having him as a babyface, but for some reason it actually worked.
And see, Owen, since we're on Mr. Fuji, of course, I'm trying to remember. Now, I don't know much about old managers like Mr. Fuji.
Right.
Was he the manager of Yokozuna more than he was of Demolition and the Orient Express, or who was he the manager more of?
I mean, it just depends. Like, it was different eras of the wrestling business, honestly.
Oh,
It's just like he's managed both of them somewhat equally, to be honest, throughout the time. The big deal, I want to get to the end of his career here. So he retired from the wrestling business, left the WWE, and after he retired, he basically, going into the end of his career, he ended up in a wheelchair because of 9 knee operations. So him being being a theater usher makes complete sense because he could just sit there and tear tickets, and that worked because I know he loved working at the movie theater, which is another thing me and Mr. Fujiwara have in common. He ran a training dojo out of Jefferson City, Tennessee, and Dandridge, Tennessee until 2001. And I will say that he was officially inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame in 2007. And one of the greatest things in the history of ever was 2 words: Fuji Vice.
Oh, God, don't bring up Fuji Vice.
Fuji Vice with Don the Rock Morocco was some of the greatest things I have ever seen.
Oh, my God.
And that Morocco is the one who actually inducted him, so it made perfect sense to me. Yeah, he's managed a lot of people in the history of the industry. George the Animal Steel. He did manage Don Morocco. That led to that. Cowboy Bob Orton, the Moondogs, Killer Khan, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Sika of the Wild Samoans, Kamala. I mentioned that
he managed Jim Neidhart?
Yeah.
Again, my wrestling knowledge is not that great, so I'm going to ask you questions. George Animal Steel, God, that's a weird-ass combo. Jim Neidhart, weird as hell. Who else did you say?
Well, the other ones were towards the end with the Camp Cornette tandem, obviously, like Crush and my namesake, the late, great Owen Hart, and also the late, great Davey Boy Smith, and Jeff Jarrett. So, yeah.
Slap nuts.
And
Slap nuts, yeah.
In his career, he held the NWA Georgia Tag titles, AWA Southern Tag Team titles, both with Professor Toru Tanaka. He was a member of the class of 2013 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's held titles for Pacific Northwest, a heavyweight title, and the tag championships with Haru Sasaki and Tony Bourne. He was ranked in the PWI 500 at number 445 in 2003. So yeah, he's had a very illustrious career, and the big thing when it comes down to him was 5-time WWF/WWF Tag Team Champion with Professor Toru Tanaka and Mr. Saito. 2 times on that. And the biggest thing, of course, was somebody that we respect here on the Popcast Network, and that is the great Dave Meltzer. And yeah, the Wrestling Observer gave him Worst Manager of the Year from 1984 to 1995.
Oh, Dave Meltzer, why, dude? Why?
But yeah, I mean, we wanted to take the time to throw our condolences to the family of Harry Fujiwara, and we are very happy that he was around the wrestling industry. Now, granted, I am the only one on here that has really experienced Mr. Fuji to the fullest, but that's another great thing about the WWE Network. I mean, it's not just a gimmick. Being able to go back and check out some of the history of people that you have only heard tell of before. It's like a history lesson every single week here on the Popcast Network, because I can tell you something and then, oh, I don't remember that. I'll go back and check it out on the network, and everybody wins, because then you get a nice little wrestling history lesson.
Yeah, and one more.
I bet Dad would have known who Mr. Fuji was.
I almost guarantee you, if he knows anything about old school wrestling, I'm sure he does. Yeah.
And Owen, can I say one more thing before we officially move on?
Sure.
You know, I told my dad about Mr. Fuji's passing, and so me and Dad decided to go for a car ride to the grocery store, and my dad looked at me and said, you know, you don't look at old-time wrestlers like Mr. Fuji as old guys. You look at them as if they're still young.
Right.
And
Ric Flair.
yeah, that dude, I'm not even going to talk about Ric Flair. But yeah, you know, it's a shame what 2016 has been.
Oh, yeah.
We have lost so many great legends in the year 2016.
Agreed.
Like Piper, like Rhodes, like Mr. Fuji.
Oh, God. So much of the old school 1980s WWF is like, they're not around anymore.
And, you know,
so sad.
And also, too, I know he has nothing to do with wrestling, but Gene Wilder as well.
Well, I mean, I was gonna bring him up later on. Actually, I mean, I wasn't gonna bring him up tonight because it doesn't really fit wrestling. But I mean, yeah, I can tell you right now, with the passing of Gene Wilder, we are going to be. I told you guys that we were going to do a certain versus this week. We're doing the Hawks versus. We're going to actually move that one, and we're going to do a Gene Wilder versus this week. So yeah.
Okay,
makes perfect sense.
Okay, I just wanted to throw that out. So Owen, I apologize, even though that has nothing to do with wrestling. So
that's fine. It needed to be said, honestly.
Yeah, but God Almighty, why is 2016 hating on us right now?
2016 has been great for some reasons and terrible for others. That's the best way to put it.
It's been literally the worst year of my life.
I completely understand.
But thank you, Mr. Fuji, for all the salt throwing.
Oh, yeah.
And for the Fuji Vice.
Fuji Vice. Go check that out on YouTube, like after the podcast, or I mean, just put us on in the background if you'd like, and just seriously, just go check out Fuji Vice. It's so awesome, to say the least. That is prime 1980s awesomeness right there, sir.
But yeah, one more time from Pop, we would like to thank Mr. Fuji for everything he's done for the business, and God bless his soul.
And WWE, to their credit, and no surprise at all here, they put out a very stellar video package in the middle of the show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's move on to the show, shall we? The show must go on, and rest in peace, Mr. Fuji, you shall be missed. But yeah, Jeremy will be talking about the Glow show on Wednesday, actually. So let's get started, shall we? Because Ashley's not here, I decided I wanted to try something different. And I decided to ask, and I could have been told no, and then I've had to be like, oh, you do it yourself. But I asked Travis and Will to be kind enough to do notes on the promos because, to be totally honest, me trying to focus on everything is hard, especially you guys know out there the way that I do recaps. I do recaps totally different than anybody does. So it's better to just keep away from the promos. So that's why I'm not going to do promos anymore. I'm just going to focus on wrestling. And it's like, I know this is not talking about the show, but I mean, What Culture usually runs on Monday, but it's not running on Monday this week. They're going to change dates, and we're going to find that information out tomorrow, which could mean that What Culture may end up being a week behind every week. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. We'll see. It may end up with TNA, but
I can already tell Owen's not going to care for the rest of the show until we get to the part where Kevin Owens wins.
No. There's some good stuff in this match. There's some garbage too, but we'll get to that too. So the show starts off, and I'm going to set you up, Travis, and then I'm going to let you knock it out of the park.
Okay.
Hopefully. Corey Graves is in the ring. He's got basically a panel set up with the challengers for the Universal Championship. And that is Kevin Owens, Big Cass, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. They're all kind of sitting like Piper's Pit style. They're sitting like an interview segment. They're all sitting in chairs, and Corey Graves is the moderator. And we get to this.
So, Graves tries to introduce everybody. Rollins cuts him off and says the real reason they're all here is because of him. He forced Balor to relinquish the title. Rollins says he doesn't need to be here. He is in a benevolent. I can't speak.
Benevolent, you're good.
Fucker, thank you. So he is going to donate his mic time to someone who needs it. Kevin Owens.
Always needs mic time. I agree.
Owens puts on his best, oh, thanks, buddy voice, and puts everyone over, of course. And then Graves asks Owens for his thoughts on tonight's match, and Owens notes that he thinks that my notes are horrendous right now. He says that he wants everyone to be nice to each other, which that's kind of off of Owens' little mindset. Owens says he's going to win tonight because Sami Zayn is out of the picture and he can finally focus on what's important. The Universal Championship. Owens runs everyone out of the ring. Owens runs down about everyone in the ring. Owens tells Cass he doesn't belong there because he's just tall, which counts for nothing. Cass tries to speak, but Owens cuts him off, and he is surprised Cass has a voice. He thought Cass had a string on his back and only can speak when an idiot Enzo pulled it. Cass asks Owens if he wrote that or if Jericho wrote it for him. Cass says he knows he's new here and they never won a championship. All that said, he has nothing to lose. Cass tells Rollins that no matter what he's been telling himself the past few years, size doesn't matter. Ha ha ha. Good job, Cass. That's actually really funny because of Rollins' past.
Yeah.
Size does matter.
I think that actually was a subtle dig at the unfortunate pictures that got out of Mr. Rollins and his Mr. Rollins.
His wing wang.
His Tyler Black.
His bounce like wow.
Rollins gets upset and says he's taking his mic time back. Rollins says that he's going to eliminate Cass, then Owens, then he'll just leave Reigns. There are three things that are certain in life: death, taxes, and Rollins beating Reigns. Graves then asks Reigns if he has anything to say. Reigns gets up, punches Owens in the face, and that goes into Owen talking about what happened with the rest of it.
Well, the next thing I have here is the first match of the night.
Okay, then I'll just keep going. Reigns gets up and punches Owens in the face.
Okay. Go ahead.
Rollins attacks. It's the big attack thing. Rollins attacks Cass. Kane. Reigns pulls Rollins off of Cass. Rollins knees Reigns into Cass. Then Reigns tosses Rollins out of the ring. Cass lunges at Reigns, but Reigns tosses him out of the ring as well. And Reigns is left standing in the ring alone, which he should be alone for the rest of his fucking life.
Damn. You sound like Adam from What Culture?
There's nothing wrong with that. That's the reason why we are one of the only podcasts that promote What Culture Pro Wrestling very proudly, I might add.
Somewhat proudly. But that was your promo.
All right. I mean, they got what they needed to say out.
Yep.
And they delivered. All four of them delivered in the promo. And when it came down to it, Corey was a great mediator. And it was a long promo, but it was an involved promo, and it actually made sense.
It wasn't as good as the match, but it was pretty damn good. It was the best promo of the night, I'll tell you that, because there was only two.
We will get to that. There's more than just one match. More than two matches, I know, because I'll talk about them.
No, I'm talking about only two promos.
Will will probably disagree with you on that. They're not really promos, they're kind of inserts, I guess you would say. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
They're time fillers.
That's what most Raw is most of the time.
Yeah.
Show started off wrestling-wise with Chris Jericho versus Adrian Neville. No surprise this match was good. This goes back to this goes back to the WWE show that we covered on the network a while back that took place in Japan, The Beast from the East. And this was a match that happened on the show. Once again, Neville and Jericho work really, really well together. I love their chemistry in the match. I thought it worked superbly. There was a lot of good stuff in this match. And it basically led to a couple of things I want to talk about. So a standing shooting star for a near fall. Neville kicks him off the apron, and he hits a K-Brada moonsault to Jericho. They get back in the ring. It's a springboard missile drop kick. For that. Later on in the match, Neville goes for the deadlift. Gets countered into a forward roll, and that it goes into the walls, but it's countered again for an inside cradle for a near fall. Ducks the clothesline, Jericho goes for the code breaker, gets caught. A super kick to Jericho, heads up top for the red arrow, but Jericho's out of the way, so Neville lands on his feet, and he goes for the pop-up, and he gets caught with the Rana, but Jericho hangs on, locks on the walls, turns it into the Lion Tamer, just like he won in Japan, and Jericho wins. Solid match between these two. No shock to anybody because they know how to put on a wrestling clinic, and that's exactly what it was to kick off the show. Will, thoughts?
I mean, you know, this match was a good opener. I'm not going to say it was a great opener, but it was a good opener. And this honestly proves that Y2J still has it.
Oh, he's never lost it, really.
Well, a lot of my friends says he has, and he needs to retire. But
no,
I'm like, no. I mean, sure, he, has been in the business for a long time. I mean, he still has it, and like you said, Owen, he's never lost it. And I mean, I'm proud of Jericho for winning. I mean, sure, Neville's a favorite of mine, but honestly, I wanted Jericho to win.
And Travis.
Great match. Glad Neville's actually getting matches on Raw.
Yeah. And then if he didn't come back, he'd soon be the man that we forgot.
Completely agree. So we are moving on, and before we move on, I will state that we are not alone. We are actually going to be joined by another member of the Popcast Network who we have seen not very often, but when he comes in, he makes an impact in every single way possible. I want to welcome back to the network for the first time in a week or so, even after he's been gone for a while, and that is Cleveland. I was hoping when I introduced him, he'd show up right away, but I didn't get to. So that was a good start. There we go. You're a couple seconds late, but it's okay.
I mean, as you guys can see, I'm at work.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be popping in and out. Wordplay. You caught the wordplay?
Of course, absolutely.
Cleveland, how you doing, man? It's been a minute. How you doing?
You're not even gonna let me finish my sentence, Travis. That's how we're starting this off.
It wasn't Travis.
I'm sorry. I'm so used to Travis aggravating me. I'm sorry, Will. But yeah, I'm gonna be popping in and out. You know, like whenever we're not busy, which we're not busy at all. So cheap plug. Homestay at Westgate Resort. Okay, let's start.
Yeah, well, first off, we opened the show, and I want to get your opinion too, because I obviously Travis is kind of at a disadvantage here because he doesn't really know much about the person in question. Will did say a little bit, and I brought up the history lesson for everyone, but the tragic passing of Mr. Fuji.
Oh wow, he really died?
Wow, that's bad. That proves when you're busy, you get wrapped up in everything and you don't see when things like that happen. Yes, he passed away yesterday.
Wow.
So I want to see what your Fuji memories are.
I'm gonna be honest with you. All I really remember is like watching little clips with my brother, because my brother he was more of a hold on one sec. I'll be right back.
This is going to be one of those shows, guys. So, I will state real quick, there's something that was interesting, Will, that I think you'll find intriguing. That's something I'm seeing as I'm reading around things on the internet right now. Do you know that there is a slight possibility Jericho's trying to cut weight so he can do cruiserweights? I think that's very interesting if that would happen. I don't think this is the time of his career when he'd be doing cruiserweight matches, but I mean, you never know. I mean, Jericho, arguably, obviously, he was the first ever undisputed champion, and that's a pretty big accolade, but one of the things that a lot of the old school Jericho fans will know him for is the fact of his colossal reign as WCW Cruiserweight Champion. So it makes sense that would be the case. And Will returns. Did you hear anything I said?
Oh yeah, I did. Talking about Jericho being the longest reigning WCW Cruiserweight Champion.
Somewhat. Okay.
You there, Owen?
I'm here. I'm waiting. So we move on to our next match. But before we have our next match, this brings in Travis, who says...
Do.
We're talking about Bailey hugging people in the back.
Yes! Hug me! Oh, wait. That's already happened.
Okay, hello?
Hello, Adele. How's it going?
Okay.
Oh,
I ordered a pizza and it just showed up at front desk.
is
But
it?
yeah, just be quiet. Just to be real quick about it, my brother, who was big on Mr. Fuji, he actually bought a cane just like his, and whenever we would pretend wrestle, and
Right.
I would overbear him, like he would get the cane and like whack me in the head with it.
Oh, of course.
So I grew up with a distaste for Mr. Fuji, but to hear that he passed away, I actually had no clue. This is all news to me. Did they have a section of Raw where they dedicated time to him?
Yes, they certainly did.
Okay, well deserved. One of the best managers of all time,
Indeed.
and highly underrated.
Oh yeah, we had a long talk about Mr. Fuji's career, both in ring and outside the ring, when we first started. So Travis, tell us about Bailey hugging people in the back.
What do you mean Bailey hugging people in the back?
Outside the ring.
What?
I didn't say outside the ring. At least not then. Bailey was hugging people wearing her backpack, and she runs into the New Day.
Oh, that little mini stuff I didn't get. I just got big stuff.
Oh, God. Okay, so basically she meets with the New Day, and they're singing for her. They're kind of like serenading her, and they do like the hip swivel, and then Dana Brooke shows up.
Fuck that bitch.
And Dana Brooke basically name drops Gallows and Anderson. So it looks like we're going to get a mixed tag match coming up later in the night.
Oh, we forgot to talk about the pre-show. I
guess we're going backwards real quick. Okay, continue.
Couple things from the pre-show. They talked about how the four-way was changed to an elimination.
Yeah, I heard that on Twitter and it angered me.
Paul Heyman's going to be on Raw. They had an interview with Sasha that was kind of boring. Lita sucks on the pre-show. She's overbeared by Booker and everyone else. Then they announced Cesaro and Sheamus, match 2 of 7. And then I said it feels like Lita is really drunk. They talked about Mr. Fuji. Scott Stanford says he wants big sweaty men. And Harambe made the pre-show.
Oh, God, how?
Whenever the New Day were celebrating, some mark in the front was holding up a Harambe sign.
Oh, man.
And of course, WWE has to put in Harambe.
Oh, God. So, oh, boy.
Time travel back forward.
And we're going to move back to the dumpster fire that was the Nia Jax squash. Okay, this is for you, Cleveland. I can honestly say I don't have the fire and venom towards Nia Jax that most people on the network here do.
Uh-huh.
But I will say that she's got a long way to go, and she's not ready for prime time. Her new finish is dangerous, and she never hits it right on anybody she's worked with.
What's up? Let's go.
What's up? How's it going, bruh?
Shut up.
The power of live podcast.
Pass the weed.
Where's your cousin?
What?
Popcast Network have no control over the background noise that we're getting on the show tonight. I will not even acknowledge that happened. That's why I'm glad this stuff's not on YouTube. Not on YouTube. I mean, that's why I'm glad. That's why we don't put the wrestling podcast on iTunes. But the Horror Nights ones are up there, and you can check them out right now on Popcast Network.
Cheap plug.
Exactly. And watch Holy Foley, the master of the cheap plug.
Don't watch Holy Foley. Oh my God.
It's not bad. I like it. Okay.
It's okay. It has its moments of brilliance, but
At any rate, Nia Jax is facing off against the indie worker of the night. Her name is Hyen Young. She's done stuff with Shimmer, so I mean, she's got a name, and I think she uses just that is the name she uses in the ring. I'm trying to find more information about her. I do know that she's done stuff for Shimmer, and I do know that she's on Twitter. So I mean, that's all I basically know about her. So yeah, she's. Oh my god. So the reason you wouldn't. So the reason you would know who she is, and given the fact we were in Houston, Texas tonight, was the fact that she's another person from Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion.
Oh, that's cool.
So that makes sense. And they've been doing a lot with Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion for a while now in WWE. So it's kind of like, I can't really say it's kind of like developmental or anything. I think it's kind of more like, it's not OVW. I think that the best way to describe it would probably be maybe UPW. When UPW was not really a developmental, but it was kind of like a training ground of sorts.
It's like Creative Pro.
That's somewhat fair. This match sucked. Nothing to it. I'm tired of these Nia Jax squashes because there's really no direction to go with them right now.
So what's her finisher?
Well, it's called the Jax Hammer, and it's basically fireman's carry into a forward power slam, and it's supposed to look devastating. It just looks dangerous. I mean, tonight she almost dropped the girl. The last time it looked like she landed wrong. I mean, they've given her an impactful finish, but it's not one that really fits.
Okay.
Once she gets her finish down, I think she'll be fine.
Give me a second. I'm pulling up my...
But I don't see her giving that to Bayley or Sasha or anybody in the near future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on Raw, we have. You could put Bayley in there.
Ashley, we do this every week, Travis.
We do this every week.
The women's division has too little people on both brands. There should not be two brands. There should not be two titles.
Raw has Charlotte, who's the champ.
Heel.
Sasha, who's hurt.
Face.
Jax, who squashes.
Heel.
Paige, who's suspended.
Don't know what she is anymore.
Summer Rae, who's question mark.
She could go either way. Either face or
Alicia
heel.
Fox, who's question mark.
Heel, most of the time.
Dana Brooke, who's
Heel.
fucking doing something with the Gallows and Anderson, I guess. And
We'll get to
Bayley.
that. Yeah, she's a face. So yeah, it's very lopsided.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm like, there's nobody that can go against Nia Jax.
No, there's not. There really isn't. So Cleveland's going to keep dropping out periodically throughout the night. So keep that in mind.
That's cute.
So yeah, this like I said, this match sucked. I don't care about this. I mean, she's a monster. That's fine. But I mean, eventually she's going to have to face somebody, and unless what they end up doing is literally turning her into Kong and turning her babyface and sticking her on Charlotte, which is a possibility. I think they may
Not like most girls.
Oh God. I think they may put over the fact that Nia Jax doesn't care if you're good or bad. She's going to beat you up anyway, and that's the reason she's a monster, because she has no feelings on who she hurts. So I think I could see them doing that, because she's not
like most girls.
She's not really a face. She's not really a heel. She's just kind of there, just destroying people, and that's all she does. I mean, I don't mind her being the monster, but I hope that there's an end game here that doesn't end with Sasha or Bayley getting hurt accidentally.
You knock on wood, sir.
Here we go. So we get Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson at a retirement home. Do you want to cover this? Because I think I hate this crap so much.
No, thank you. Basically, what happened is Dana Brooke came out and said, "I'm gonna be y'all's bitch."
Dana Brooke is going to be the nurse of the Good Doctors. This sucks. I can only imagine. Granted, it's all about being professional in the wrestling business, but I can only imagine what Amber Gallows thinks about Dana Brooke joining the Bullet Club act in WWE.
Fucking hoe. Sorry. I have a really bad cough today.
I mean, honestly, though, I guess they kind of needed a. I mean, with Amber being obviously Gallows' legitimate wife, I think that we could see basically Dana Brooke become like the club girl, the club chick in WWE, and then that gets her away from Charlotte, and then Charlotte can go off and do her own stuff. So we don't have Dubots, we don't have mini-me's or anything like that. We basically just have everybody as their own person in the women's division. I think that actually works better.
Breaking news. Congratulations to Rusev. He finished the first Harry Potter book.
Oh, God.
Hey! He said he tweeted
it. So, light heavyweight champion Big Show is back. Welcome. It says 10 out of 10 would turn Dana Brooke into a housewife. Fair point. I don't agree, but I mean, to each their own. Everyone knows Owen is a Summer Rae guy.
Aren't we all?
No, actually, most people are not. So, yeah. This moves on to the next segment, which is a match. But first, we get a video package hyping up Seth Rollins. And they were doing video packages to hype up every contender for the Universal title tonight. So this led to a singles match. Sami Zayn over Jinder Mahal. Jinder being Canadian, working with Sami Zayn. I think this is great, honestly. I love this so much. So Sami gets his normal shine in the match. He hits the exploder in the buckle and the haluva kick and ends the match. There really wasn't much to it, honestly. But I'm telling you, they're just keeping Sami in the wings because they pretty much set up a storybook series that can go all the way to WrestleMania 33. So they have a long ways to go with Sami Zayn, but I swear to you, if they go the right direction, my God, this is going to be an awesome time to be a fan of the El Generico-Kevin Steen feud. I will say that right now. All right. So this leads to the next segment. Travis, we have an injury update of Sasha Banks next.
Did we? That might have been whenever I was out, because remember I was out for that couple minutes.
Good God.
Because I missed the Nia Jax squad.
So Charlotte comes out to join the commentary team. Basically, they show the pre-show where Sasha said, this is basically they're showing what they said on the pre-show. Sasha said Charlotte tried to injure her at the pay-per-view, and her life imitates art. And her back went out on her. She's focused on making her comeback and will take her title back. She'll be back better than ever. And Charlotte's like, I went on my own, so what's your excuse? So, yeah. Not really much was said there. So we get our six-person tag. It's Gallows, Anderson, and Brooke against Bayley and the New Day. Big E and Kofi, if you were playing along at home. Not much to this either. It was a fun tag match. Kofi got tagged in. He hit all of his high spots. He hit the boom drop after the drop kick, and he goes for Trouble in Paradise. He gets ducked. Anderson eats the Unicorn Stampede, and then Bayley ends up getting the Xavier Woods trombone to the throw-in drop kick, baseball slide drop kick in the corner. Really, Dana Brooke botches a drop kick, so that looked really bad.
Well, Dana Brooks, never mind.
She's got a lot of upside, but her in-ring needs some work. Granted, I'm not a wrestler, but I am trained, so I somewhat know what I'm doing. So needless to say, it's not like I don't know if I could do better, but she's got a long way to go. But she's somewhat improving, even though tonight was kind of a step in the back direction than the front one. This leads to a lot of things in the finish. So we come back from commercial break. heat on Kofi, and Kofi leaps off, gets caught with a spine buster. Gallows tags in and beats him down, pulls Big E to the outside. Bayley gets the hot tag, and Bayley goes crazy. Carl makes the save on Dana, and basically pulling her to the outside. Kofi does a dive over the top and almost misses Gallows completely because he overshot him. Bayley to belly on Dana Brooke finishes the match, and then that was it. Crowd's really into Bayley. They're into the New Day, even though sometimes the New Day are kind of losing a little bit of steam, even though they're about to get New Day Pop Rocks coming to FYE this year. I think it's November.
God.
I think it's either October or November that they're coming out, but they're gonna have a brand new T-shirt coming to FYE, which is the Nintendo game based shirt, which means Owen's got to find an FYE in a couple weeks when he goes to Orlando. So I want to get that shirt.
Florida Mall.
Huh?
I think there's one in the Florida Mall.
Yeah, that's where I'll be heading to.
I'll tell you right now, there's not one in Artigan.
Yeah,
That place is fucking too hipster.
but yeah, this match it was what it was. Honestly, there wasn't much to it. So, Travis, thoughts?
Bayley.
Oh, other than Bayley, Travis, thoughts?
Xavier.
Okay. It's nice when people talk on the podcast. I always enjoy that.
I'm just happy Bayley's on the main roster. She really deserves it. Dana Brooke really didn't deserve to get drafted.
I agree, but I'm worried about what's going on with the NXT Women's Division. Well, I was worried about the NXT Women's Division, but we'll talk about that. We talked about that last Wednesday, and I'm very happy to say that should be coming to fruition very soon. I'm going to guess it'll be, and ironically enough, it may be on the TV tapings that are going to be on September 15th at Full Sail.
I will kill you.
Which would be incredible, because I'd be super happy if that happened for real.
I'd be so mad.
So, yes, that moves us on to Will's thoughts.
Luke Gallows is a man whore for leaving his wife and going for Dana Brooke.
He didn't leave his wife.
I know, but it will happen.
No, it definitely won't, because Dana Brooke is with Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, God, Dolph Ziggler is dating a dude. Jesus.
Once again, Dolph Ziggler is one of the luckiest men in the world because he got to be with somebody I'd like to be with, and that's Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
John Cena, but you don't see him.
I don't like him for that either, so don't feel bad.
But overall, it was a decent 6-person tag match.
You almost said six-pack challenge.
I don't care. I'm tired.
Okay, fair point. It's always great to have everybody bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for the podcast.
Oh, I'm practically perfect in every way.
Sure.
Thank you, Bert the Chimney Sweep.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chitty.
Anyway, so real quick, I want to congratulate Fifth Harmony on winning 2 VMAs.
Yeah, fuck it.
Oh my God almighty.
Move on.
Who gives...
Why? Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Why, Georgia? Why? Seriously. There was a promo with Cesaro and I almost called him Claudio. Cesaro in the locker room. He has a chance to go 0-2 tonight in the series against Sheamus, but he says he's going to make it a great day because he's going to come back and win because nobody likes Sheamus. Daniel Bryan is going to address his situation with The Miz on SmackDown, so we get another awesome work shoot angle that's going to be ran on SmackDown tomorrow in Dallas. And we get a video package highlighting Big Cass. So that was cool. I like that.
I'm just excited to see Alpha tomorrow night on SmackDown.
Yeah, I will be watching Ring of Honor tomorrow night, so yeah. That's me right there, sir. So we are going to move on to the next segment and the next actual match, and that is the second match of the Best of 7 series, Sheamus versus Cesaro. Once again, these two cannot do any wrong. Storyline of this match came with a really sick move. Did you see what happened?
I saw. I just don't know what it's called.
Sheamus literally backdropped Cesaro into the ring post.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. That was pretty much the beginning of the end. So they went back and forth for a bit. Cesaro went for the swing. He got caught, and he basically had a set-out pad. Basically had a riding bomb. And he goes for the flying body press. Sheamus counters, and then the uppercut train rolls on. Sheamus tried to steal the win with the feet on the rope. Referee stopped the count. And Sheamus got put on the buckle. Cesaro drop kicked him to the outside. And that's when the back body drop. Sheamus got charged in. He backdropped Cesaro into the ring apron. That was the full time it happened in the match. Tossed him in. He locked on the cloverleaf. And tap out win went to Sheamus. So Sheamus is now 2-0 in the Best of 7 series.
Oh, yay. That means we're going to 7.
We know we're going to 7. Light heavyweight champion Big Show says Cesaro and Sheamus are both boring to him. I have no opinions on either of them. I will state right now, they did a Night of Champions. I think that was either 2013 or 2014.
I think my instincts were telling me 2013.
Okay, because I remember watching it at Cabana Bay. I had my blinds open at Cabana, and I put the laptop on the comforter, and I sat back, and I watched the show, and I took notes. And I don't normally watch wrestling when I'm in Orlando, but, I mean, this year, different things are going to happen, so there you go. But I will state right now that I enjoy them both. They're both, like, strong brawlers. They both know what they're doing in the ring. Sheamus is very underrated when it comes to being, like, a barroom brawler. I think Sheamus is very underrated. I think Cesaro is criminally underrated. In a perfect world, Cesaro would also be another former Ring of Honor champion to win the big one in WWE. But the issue with Cesaro is he's always about to grab that proverbial brass ring, and the next thing you know, nope, not going to happen. So, I mean, I really hope they run with him. Cesaro's over with the crowd and has been for a long time. I mean, he's getting better on the mic. His wrestling is top-notch always. Pound for pound, probably one of the best easily one of the best superstars on the roster, without a doubt. He's got the total package, and I'm very happy to see that they're doing something with him. And the fact that they're putting him 0-2 right away, that makes me think that Cesaro is probably going to win the third one, and then we're going to go back and forth for a bit, and we'll move to Best of 7 and probably into Clash of Champions. That's my guess.
You said he's the total package. You know who else is a total package?
Lex Luger. Anyway.
Apparently Seth Rollins.
Wow. God. Oh my God. I might as well send you to Vegas because your jokes are that bad. So.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Big Show says your Cesaro's overrated. My question is in whose eyes? Because obviously management doesn't want to push him at all. Sheamus is underrated. I agree with that, but they're a lot more inclined to push Sheamus. Yeah, Sheamus is definitely stale, but he's getting his groove back in matches, so that works. And Cesaro is finally getting a chance to shine. So I mean, different people see wrestling different ways. I completely understand your opinion, Big Show, but I mean, everyone's entitled to their thoughts on the way things go, but I mean, I've always been a big supporter of Cesaro when he was Claudio Castagnoli doing the Kings of Wrestling with Chris Hero and Ring of Honor. I mean, I was a big Claudio fan, and when I heard, I remember when he first got signed to the WWE, and they had visa issues, and he ended up going back to the Indies, and then he finally got signed to the WWE. He went to NXT, debuted as Antonio Cesaro, and he never looked back. I am very happy that we actually got to see a KOW match in NXT. That was very well done. The Kings of Wrestling did team up actually during a match. That was when Hero was in as Cassius Ohno, which is the original KO. And then you got Kyle O'Reilly, which is also KO, and then you have the Universal Champion, which is the real KO. So there you go. The thing is, I really enjoy his work, and I always have. I mean, they've never been really high on him with management and booking, but I mean, given he has a chance to shine, I think he's going to be fine. I mean, I guess honestly, I see. He says he's overrated by the crowd and the fans. I mean, I see somewhat where you're coming from. He says he's good, but I don't think he's as great as people claim to be. I guess you just got to be. I mean, different people are fans of different types of wrestling too. I mean, I know a lot of people think Claudio is boring, but I'm not one of them. Obviously, I'm a big fan of his. Travis, I think you like Cesaro, don't you?
I'm a fan of Cesaro. It's just
Not your style either.
the uppercut thing's starting to get stale with me.
Well, I mean, everybody has their little vice. I mean, the uppercut is Claudio.
Cass, the couple haters.
I'm not sick of Enzo and Cass, but I'm getting there.
I'm not. It's not Bootios that's getting me. It's just the way that New Day's being like shown as
Right.
like severely black guys. That's what's pissing me off. I don't think I'll ever get angry with Bailey's gimmick at all. Charlotte, she's too mean.
It makes sense though. That makes her a good heel, Travis.
Yes, I know, but like, and Rollins just fucking sucks. But
Yeah,
we'll get to how much I fucking hate Rollins in a little bit.
I mean, technically, if you were listening to the podcast a week ago, you heard what Travis's opinions on Seth Rollins are. So
I want to put that guy through a barricade and see how the fuck he feels after it. Fucking douchebag.
Oh yes.
No, Seth Rollins, if you ever listen to this, I challenge you to a match.
Oh God.
I get one weapon, and you're not going to get out of there alive.
Oh God. Really? Travis is becoming a keyboard warrior right here on the podcast.
Asshole. Fucking keeping Finn Balor out of competition for 6
Hey, yeah, that may be true, but he also set the ball in motion for probably it's going to be the savior of the WWE.
Damian Sandow?
No, unfortunately not. He's TNA now, and he's doing just fine.
Aaron Rex?
Yes, we'll see him in 2 months. So, do you have any more thoughts on the match before we move on?
Not at all.
Will?
Can we just get to Kevin Owens now?
See, here's the issue. Obviously, I know what I want to talk about, but we have to do our jobs to talk about every segment of the show. So, not yet.
But like you said, some Raw's crap.
I mean, like I said, like I said before, I like this match. I like this match a lot. It was fun.
Some major promos were actually pretty good.
Tag match was good. The mixed tag match, it wasn't a great wrestling match, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give this Raw like a 3 out of 5. It wasn't bad.
I don't know what Tyler Powell says. I don't know what's more annoying, Dolphin Corbin feuding or Titus and Darren Young. We're gonna get to that momentarily.
Oh yes, we will.
And light heavyweight champion Big Show, he says Big Show could save WWE if I were being 100% honest, but WWE isn't pushing him. I've been having the idea that Big Show is the one that stops Braun Strowman, but I don't know if they'll go that route or not. I think they will, but we'll see. We're getting to that because it's time to see USA Max Moon, a.k.a. Super Dragon, also known as Americos. He is a Texas indie worker, has worked for Elite Championship Wrestling and Iconic Heroes of Wrestling Excellence and Traditional Championship Wrestling. And Travis, what does he say when he is asked why he's in this match?
I
It's always good when I catch people off guard.
personally don't remember.
Oh boy. Well, I will say right now that before whatever you want to call this, I wouldn't call it a match. Before this, I would state easily tremendous video package on Kevin Owens. But again, I'm not surprised. He's very, very easy to promote. So Braun Strowman facing off against Americo. This match sucked too. I really don't care. I don't care about Braun Strowman. He's got a great personality, as we found out before on podcasts and videos, stuff behind the scenes. I don't buy into him, really. Thank God he's not using the reverse choke slam that kills people dead. Another thing that was said in this was the fact that Braun Strowman faced Americo was kind of like Braun Strowman being thrown into WCW versus NWO World Tour for N64 because this guy looked like Aki Man. And I totally agree with that. Aki Man by way of Super Dragon. I think that's the best way to describe him. So yeah, it's very interesting. He won with an elevator down. What I used to call the elevator down. It's basically a pop-up. That's it. That was the match. And then to add insult to injury after the match was over, he unmasks the guy and bombs out. Yeah, this is a waste. Like I said, if this leads to Strowman and Big Show, which is the only direction I think it could lead to, I'm okay with it. I don't want Strowman to go anywhere near Brock, because that's just bad for everybody, and a waste of Brock's dates. If they would build him up more sufficiently and not just do these squash matches, I would probably care a little bit more. I think they need to start having him squash 3 or 4 guys at a time. First start out with a handicap match and do 3 guys, then 4 guys, and then Big Show comes out. It's like every single week I see you picking on the little guy, and the guy's just trying to make a living in this business, and people trying to get their big break. They come out here to face you just so they can get on television and be seen to try to get some bookings, and sure enough, you destroy them every single week. But let's see what happens when you pick on somebody your own size. And then the Big Show and Braun Strowman is the feud. And if they're going to do anything with Braun Strowman, the Big Show is the only person that makes any sense.
Well, you can't do anything at WrestleMania with that.
Yes, you can.
We're getting. I mean, WrestleMania's already booked. It's going to be Big Show and Shaq. But I mean, I think that a good build-up for it in the meantime with the Big Show is to do something with Strowman.
Oh my gosh, they turned the Big Show heel, and it's a tag match.
No.
Big Show and Braun Strowman versus.
Travis, no, just stop.
I'm just gonna shut up because that's really racist.
Just stop. That's stupid. Here's the thing. I'm thinking right now that you're getting Big Show and Shaq. That's the match they're going to do. You have to have Big Show babyface. What better way to make him babyface is him to be the savior of the poor guys that are getting beaten down every single week by Braun Strowman. I think it just writes itself. Make sense?
So is Big Show and Shaq going to be one of the main events of WrestleMania 33?
Probably.
Oh God!
They'll probably have like 5 or 6 main events, so I mean that would make sense. Like,
well, how many? They only had 3 this year.
Well, you have the Universal title match, you have the WWE title match, you have like the big marquee main event match with somebody coming back. Dwayne Johnson versus Mark Vincent may end up happening, if you believe what people are saying right now. And you've got Shaq and Big Show, and you probably have a couple marquee matches on top of that. So, yeah, I mean, Triple H and Rollins, I'm sure that'll be on there. So, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Undertaker, Cena?
That's probably a good possibility, too. So, yeah, that's another one.
I can see that.
No, or Undertaker Sting, honestly.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason, I mean, basically it was said on Legends of JBL that Sting is holding back surgery that would pretty much end his career just in the hopes that he could get that WrestleMania match against The Undertaker to find out what could have been.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe by 33, Hogan will be back, and Hogan will be one of the main matches of WrestleMania 33.
No, thank you. I don't want a freaking racist.
I would not mind Hogan coming back if they did it the right way. Like I said, this would have been Hogan and Rusev writes itself totally, but I mean, they got to do something for Rusev. They got to obviously eventually they're going to lead to an American taking it off of him, and Angle and Hogan are the ones that come to mind for me. So we'll see what happens.
I see Cena, but why would you give Cena the U.S. title again?
No, it won't be Cena. Cena's got other plans for Mania. Don't worry about that. So we get a cruiserweight video package highlighting Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Cedric Alexander, among others. Cruiserweights are coming to Raw in 2 weeks. That is after we have crowned the winner of the Cruiserweight Classic. And then we get a very long promo. Have fun, Travis. Oh, that's good. So Stephanie comes out. She's not pleased with Brock attacking her brother. And then Paul Heyman comes out. He tries to apologize. Stephanie's like, I don't want anything of this. Crowd was chanting ECW. Stephanie, in a very masterful move, goes, I bought ECW from Paul Heyman. Heyman goes, Lesnar's victory was a win for Raw, and then offers $500 and has a wad of singles and starts dropping them to the canvas. Stephanie slaps the money out of his hands and promises to avenge her brother. Heyman says Brock's the Storm, and Lesnar has put her in a compromising position with the board of directors and with Vince. Stephanie says, I can control Raw, and Brock is the one fighter on the brand, and sets back the women's empowerment movement. So Stephanie's the heir to the boardroom, the one that Heyman and Lesnar backs, and basically he says, I want you to accept the apology and the money. She does. Heyman smiles, and of course, that's actually the end, which is very shocking. Don't know what that's about at all, honestly. Brock and Shane, I think it's probably coming up a Survivor Series, if I had to guess. Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble. I know it won't be the Royal Rumble. Survivor Series makes sense. Potentially, if they don't do it before then. I mean, I think we'll get Brock and Shane before too long. Because I think, unless they do Brock and Shane at Mania, but I mean, they could do that. The only other person that I could see facing Brock at Mania at this point that's not an active superstar is Conor McGregor. And I don't think they'd do that at WrestleMania, so. This promo is fine. I don't have a problem with it. So, of course, we get reminded about Finn Balor's injury. And, of course, they show us very graphic surgical pictures of him. Gotta love that. I think Travis is asleep. Yep, Travis is definitely asleep. He's about to go on Mutesville in about 2 seconds. So we get our next match, and our next match is the never-ending... but first we get a video package on Roman. The next match is Titus versus Darren Young, match 478.
Jesus, it's just like Corbin and Ziggler.
This is the Corbin and Ziggler of the Raw brand. It really is. So, this match goes absolutely nowhere. Of course, Titus is the aggressor, as he always is. And Darren gets a fluke roll-up and gets the win.
Oh, what the shit?
Nothing more to it than that. It's 50-50 booking in all the ways. I mean, it was bad. It was really slow in plotting. I mean, I don't know why, but Titus was working like neck twists and everything, and the crowd just could not care less. Darren got like this awkward-looking crucifix that didn't really. It was like a body crucifix, which looked horrible. And then he sends Titus to the outside. And then, of course, Titus comes in and lays him back to get his heat back. There's nothing to this at all. I don't care about this at all. There's nothing to this match. Will, thoughts?
Hashtag don't ever put the primetime players back together.
I think that would be a better thing at this point if they were the primetime players again.
Yeah, but then no more Bob Backlund.
I don't care at this point. There's really nothing you can do with Backlund right now. I mean, now if Titus O'Neil brings back the Iron Sheik, then we have fun. Then we've got ourselves a story. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, yeah, this sucked. I mean, I like Titus and Darren. I've said this numerous times. This feud is going absolutely nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Titus does need his heel theme again. I completely agree. And Big Show also said, make Darren Young John Cena again.
Oh my God, yes. Make Darren Young the Black John Cena.
I would love to see them actually pull that off. I mean, they've joked about it before. I think it'd be funny to actually see what they would do with it. So,
I mean,
all right.
look at I think it was either Alex Riley or Yoshitatsu. One of them copied Triple H.
Yoshitatsu.
There you go.
Well, I mean, technically, you're right on both because both of them have copied Triple H. But I mean, the
Well,
one
see,
that was
was
doing
it-
it as a gimmick is Yoshitatsu in Japan.
Oh, okay. All right. Microphone. There we go. All right.
All right, so let's move on. This is the Owen and Will show. This is strange. In every way possible, this never happens.
I mean, you know what? I muted Travis anyway.
Well, I mean, he's sleeping, so I understand that. Welcome, Acer!
Hey, sir, what's up, buddy?
Acer says the two former primetime players feuding with each other. Oh, thanks for the computer dying there. Make amends and primetime players reunite back with Bob Backlund as the manager. I mean, we talked about that before. I mean, I could see that being an end game too, and I like the primetime players, and I'll tell you right now, the tag division could really use them. But I mean, the only way that's going to happen is if they do some sort of an amnesia angle with Titus, or they get him to forgive Darren Young. Because right now Titus is being a jerk, and that's the direction they're going. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what they do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much faith in this program at all.
Let's get this hashtag trending. Hashtag make the former primetime players important again. Let's get that hashtag trending.
I have a feeling that's probably going to be a very hard thing to do, to be honest. Okay, so we move on to our next segment of the night. And our next segment, in this case, is... Oh, boy. Mick Foley apologizes to Stephanie and says they're going to ban everybody from ringside. Rollins comes up and says, I'm going to win the championship. And Stephanie says, it's going to be your night, and they hug. So we get Stephanie and Foley for the main event out at ringside, and then Enzo and Cass come out first. Cass says, I promise to shock the world and win the championship. Cass gets a good reaction. Owens gets a major reaction. Cass actually probably got the bigger reaction of the two when that happened. Rollins got a tepid reaction, and nobody cares about Aquaman. Big Show says Darren Young's boyfriend attacks Bob and becomes Darren's new manager, writing him off television. Honestly, at this point, I don't think Darren Young's partner wants to be anywhere near the wrestling business. I really don't. I think they've said that before. Acer says, evening, morning, Owen. Yes, and Will. With the creative team these days, I doubt they even attempted to make the former primetime players important to the universe. Damn you, WWE. Damn you to hell. Thank you, Charlton Heston. Darren is 2-1 over Titus. So, yeah, next week, Titus has to win because 50-50 booking. So, yes, this leads to the main event. Oh, my God. Let's talk about the main event.
Glorious.
Oh, yes.
It was indeed glorious.
I have notes for this. And this is the only thing I really took, solid notes on because this is the only thing I really cared about. Main event, Universal Championship on the line, which, by the way, Travis would have noted this if he would have been awake, but he basically wrote down that Stephanie said the winner of this becomes the first Universal Champion.
Of Universal Orlando Resort?
I think Finn Balor may have something to say about that, and the match he had with Seth Rollins that injured him, to the fact that he was the first Universal Champion and not the winner of this match, but that's okay. It's okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's talk about this match, shall we? Okay, so I got my notes here. So Rollins hits a tope suicida to Cass, and Owens drops Rollins, basically the gutbuster on the barricade. Roman dives on Cass, on Owens, and we also go to commercial break. We come back from commercial break. Real quick before we finish, Acer goes, vintage WWE Lego Man, like Gordon Ramsay would say, it's Raw, get out. What a dramatic match with Colin, Kevin, Roman, and Seth. Oh my. Yeah, oh my. There you go. I thought you'd want that. So we go back for the first commercial break. And Owens, kind of like the Cactus Hip Buster, which makes sense, hits it to Cass. Rollins decks Owens, tosses Cass in, tries to steal the win, locks on a chin lock. And then Owens with a punch to break it up. Short arm clothesline, back senton on Cass, near fall. Goes for the cannonball, and he gets caught, and on the outside, Rollins sends Owens into the barricade. A really awkward drop toe hold by Rollins on the middle buckle to Cass. Didn't really look very well. Hit the charging forearm, and then Roman comes in with a couple clotheslines, and a leaping clothesline ducks Owens' clothesline. Leaping clothesline to Owens, and Cass hit some really weak-looking shoulder tackles on both Owens and Rollins. He whips Rollins into Owens, hits the Stinger Splash, and then he whips into the splash on Rollins, and then to Owens. He big boots Owens off the ring apron. He gets rolled up for a near fall, and a scoop slam and Empire elbow from Cass. He goes for the fall away, gets caught with a Superman punch from Roman, and then Roman ends up getting thrown shoulder first into the ring post. Rollins hits the Avada Kedavra on Cass, gets a near fall off of that. Owens with the frog splash, and he eliminates Cass at 10:49. So yes. This moves on to the rest of this. We go to commercial break. We come back. Rollins gets caught. He gets blocked. Goes to the superplex. Roman powerbombs Kevin Owens. So they do a Tower of Doom spot. Owens gets covered for a near fall. And Roman goes to the repeated clotheslines in the corner. Ducks the round kick from Rollins. Big boot by Roman. Superman punch ducked. And Rollins goes for the O'Connor roll, but Roman hangs on. Seth tosses Roman to the outside. The tope is stopped by a huge punch. And I'm reading the chat. It's entertaining. Superman is countered. Rollins gets a roll up for a near fall. A boot in, goes for the pedigree, gets stopped. Backdrop to the ring apron. Rollins with the ghetto blaster. Goes for the springboard knee strike, gets caught with a Superman punch, 1-2, and no. Seth kicks out. Roman charges to the straight kick. Ghetto Blaster, Owens comes in, hits the cannonball on Roman, and then on Rollins. Roman with the Superman punch, 1-2, and again a kick out. So he charges in with the Owens super kick. Pop-up powerbomb, countered Superman punch to Kevin Owens, sends him to the outside. Seth goes for the pedigree, gets stopped, roll up into the sit-outside powerbomb, 1-2, and a kick out. Roman to the outside, hits the drive-by on Rollins, goes for the one on Owens, but then again decides to spring off the ring steps and hits the Superman punch to Owens. Roman with the spear to Rollins on the floor, and then out of nowhere, the heavens opened up, and down from the sky came Triple H, and he nails Roman Reigns. And Triple H is officially returned. So life is good. He rolls Reigns in the ring, and then he wakes Rollins up. Rollins has the wherewithal to drape his arm over Roman. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is gone. It's down to Rollins and Owens, like it should be. So Triple H tosses Owens in, and even Anne Frank can see where this was headed when Triple H took off his jacket. He goes like he's going to get rid of Owens and let Rollins take the win. But he grabs Rollins and he pedigrees him, thus paying him back for everything. Continuity issues, not a factor in this. And Owens looks at him dumbfounded, like he should, obviously, because it makes sense. Owens hooks the leg, and 1, 2, 3. My God, Kevin Steen's a world champion. I'm so happy right now. As a fan, I'm very happy right now. Like I said before at the beginning of the podcast, if you're just joining us, I will say that what we're looking at is this is what turns Rollins back into a babyface. I think we get Triple H as the babyface versus... Oh, sorry. Rollins is the babyface versus Triple H at WrestleMania 33. I think that makes perfect sense. I think Rollins and Reigns, they end up reforming the Shield. I think that you get a return of the Shield for one night only. I think you can honestly see the Shield versus Triple H, Owens, and Jericho before WrestleMania. That seems like a Survivor Series match, honestly. It really does. I think the Shield against Owens, Jericho, and Owens, Jericho, and Triple H. I think that makes perfect sense and it writes itself. And I want to see that. Because enough time has elapsed that the Shield can be relevant again. And Rollins' offense, say what you want about his style. He's been more inclined to be a babyface the way he works. Not his promos, not at all. But, I mean, his in-ring is more suited for a babyface. And like I said, the match with Balor that we talked about at the pay-per-view, it was really nice to see at SummerSlam. Finn ended up taking a lot of the old Tyler Black offense. Like, not just the buckle bomb and the springboard knee strike and everything, but we got to see the fact that he's been using the Avada Kedavra a lot more, and he broke out God's Last Gift, which actually popped me when I'm watching the show, because I was like, oh my God, he hits a small package driver, that's amazing. And of course he went for the Phoenix Splash, and then just like, so yeah, it was vintage Tyler Black, and I'm telling you, I really enjoyed that. And I think this is a good way to turn. And, I mean, if they don't want to go, I mean, Owens could be a tweener here, honestly, because I know, and I was very proud of the Houston crowd chanting, "You deserve it," when Owens won the title. And I'll say right now, Will, I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, or anybody in live chat would agree with me or not, but Kevin Owens wearing the KO Mania shirt, the red version of his Fight Owens Fight shirt, the new one, wearing that with the Universal title over his shoulder, the title doesn't look so bad now, does it? It doesn't look as awkward as it did when we first saw it. I think sometimes the title makes the man, and it makes the presentation work, so I think that it was a good idea. And I saw the picture that was put out on Twitter. WWE tweeted a picture of Triple H and Kevin Owens standing side by side. Owens has got the Universal title over his shoulder, and it just looks perfect. And now, if you want to, I put on my fantasy booking hat right now, because, I mean, I have booked wrestling before, so I think this makes sense. But before this, so Triple H helps Owens up. They shake, they hold hands, they hug and everything. They embrace, they basically celebrate. Triple H leaves the ring, and he goes to the crowd after walking past Foley and Stephanie, and basically is like, you know what? I've been gone for far too long. I'm here to shake things up a little bit, and my guy is going to be the one that takes care of your guy once and for all. And I think that's what we're getting out of this, and I think that's glorious if they go with that direction. I would honestly be happy if this turns Owens babyface at this point, because the fans were really inclined to cheer for him. Twitter blew up when Owens won the title. So I know Ashley's going to want to give his thoughts on this on Wednesday, so we'll give him time Wednesday to do that. So yeah, this was great. I loved every second of this. But like I said, in a perfect world, since Balor's away for a while, what I'd like to see, Owens is keeping it until the match of the Rumble. The big match of the Rumble is where Kevin Owens faces Brock Lesnar. This is the match Owens has wanted for the longest time. The promos, oh my God, Owens versus Heyman is just makes me excited just thinking about it. And I'm telling you right now, I think it's going to deliver in every way possible. And I think Kevin Owens is going to be the one that finally silences Brock Lesnar. So it's going to be a great night when Owens wins at the Rumble and retains the Universal Championship. And on the other end of the spectrum, out of absolute nowhere, you have Sami Zayn win the Royal Rumble. So at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, you see Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the Universal Championship. I'd love it to be in a ladder match. It doesn't have to be, though. Maybe last man standing, maybe some sort of a stip on it. Does not matter. Owens and Zayn in Orlando with all the NXT fans in attendance, with the main title on the brand, it just writes itself. And I want to see this happen. I mean, a friend of mine on Twitter, Patrick LaSalle, basically said that he thinks it'd be Balor. I don't know if Balor's going to be ready by then, honestly. I guess we'll just have to see. So, yeah, I'm very happy for this. Very, very much well-deserved. I'm very happy they went this direction, and they've set up so many storylines, Will, with doing this. I mean, you can make Owens a babyface. You can make Triple H the savior of the company. He can be the one that comes back and stops the tyranny reign of Stephanie, and of course, like roping Mick Foley into it as well. I mean, Triple H is the savior of wrestling when it comes to NXT, and you remember that picture, Will. You remember the picture with Zayn and Owens and Kenta all standing there with Triple H, with Balor doing the Too Sweet. I mean, it's been known for the longest time that Kevin Owens is Triple H's guy. And it is about damn time that they finally let him show what he can totally do. I mean, babyface Rollins versus Kevin Owens, Clash of Champions, I think would be great. I'd love to see that. The issue with that, though, if you want to turn it on that, obviously if Rollins is going to go face, he can't be with Stephanie and Foley unless you write it as Stephanie and Foley as the faces and Triple H as the heel, and I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I mean, I could see this. I mean, Owens and Triple H as the faces and Rollins as the heel with Stephanie. I mean, they can go that route. I mean, there's so many directions, so many things you have opened up, so many opportunities that can come out of this. But regardless how long it lasts, and I'll tell you, I have a feeling it'll probably last for a while, in 2016, we can revel in the fact that Kevin Owens is the main champion on the Raw brand. And it's just a great feeling. It makes wrestling entertaining because you don't know where they're going to go. Is Rollins a face? Is Rollins still a heel? Is Rollins with Stephanie and Foley? Is Triple H a face? Is Triple H a heel? Is Kevin Owens a face? I mean, there's a lot of directions you can go with this, and I am very happy to see what direction they go now. Can you imagine Owens facing Sami Zayn at WrestleMania with the Universal title on the line in a respect match? Like where they're not, one is face, one is heel. That's thrown out the door. They're basically just fighting for respect. Like maybe Sami Zayn's getting beat up by Brock or something, and Owens makes the save to show that he's starting to turn a little bit. Yeah, put Brock and Sami Zayn on Raw. I want to see that. See Sami Zayn just get the tar beat out of him, and Kevin Owens makes the save, and that sets up their match for the Rumble. So many great directions you can go with this, Will. This is an awesome storyline to go with. As he's not saying anything. It's glorious. But yeah, so many different directions you can go with this. And yeah, WWE, you've hooked me. I want to see where we go from here. I mean, I can confirm that usually when I leave, wrestling goes away for the network. I don't know exactly how much it'll be, but I can assure you that it's not going to be completely that way this year. basically because some things have changed, and I'll discuss that on Saturday during our Halloween Horror Nights podcast at 9 p.m. here on the network. So we may have wrestling coverage after all while I'm in Orlando because, it has to be done after something like this. Brilliant way to do things, WWE. Kudos. Let's see where you go from now. We got SmackDown tomorrow. We'll be talking about that. Thanks to Travis on Wednesday for the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. We're talking about TNA Impact. We're a week behind, obviously, because of their filming schedule, or not really filming schedule, but their schedule of how they run the shows. We're talking Ring of Honor. We got a lot of things going down. The next set of tapings should be airing starting this week, live from Philadelphia at the former ECW arena, the 2300 arena in Philly. They started last week, and they're going to be rolling on this week. So looking forward to that. We're going to talk NXT. We're going to talk the semifinals of the Cruiserweight Classic. A lot of really cool things that could come out of this. I mean, the fact that there is a very, very good possibility you're going to get Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. in the finals of the tournament just excites me so much. I cannot wait. So many great things coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic. We'll be talking about that. And like I said, we're talking about NXT. We're talking about Lucha Underground coming back in a week. So, yeah, Lucha Underground returns on the 7th. So, yes, that's going to be coming back here to the Popcast Network, at least for a week. So, yeah, Gaming with Ash may end up turning into wrestling stuff. You never know. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think after that, I think that's our show. I real quick want to thank Cleveland for popping on momentarily at ControCleve on Twitter. So shout him out. Shout out to Ashley. Hopefully he is recuperating from his long, fun weekend at the Games Convention. He'll be back on Wednesday for the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. Check him out, Ash is My Name UK, and also you can check out some of his content on the SNS Radio Network, Sticks and Flicks, and also the whole indie show. You can check out his basically his catalog of podcasts on SNS Radio Network. And Travis, very tired, obviously, but it was nice to have him on tonight to give his thoughts and cover some of the promos tonight. It was nice actually having him to cover promos, so that was cool. Follow him on Twitter at Travis Coaster, and check out his podcast every Friday, somewhere between 9 and 10:30 p.m. Time always subject to change. The Coaster Casters podcast. Going to get a little more elite very soon. You'll have to find out very soon when I'm talking about that. So that's coming. Quick programming note, this Wednesday, the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast, of course, talking about that 10 o'clock p.m. Thursday will be should be a brand new Sip and Snack. Looking forward to that. And also Friday, AJ's Movie Reviews is tackling something. I can't tell you what it is because we don't even know what we're getting this week. Saturday will be a brand new edition of our Sip and Snack, most likely. That's what it looks like. So that should be fun. Saturday night, 9 p.m., the Elite of the Popcast Network are back one more time to talk Halloween Horror Nights. And our official meetups are going to be discussed that night. So check that out. We're going to have special guests. We're going to have 3 special guests, potentially. I know of 2 right now. We're working on the 3rd one. So a lot of new blood to the network coming up this Saturday night. Sunday is Versus. Due to the tragic passing of Gene Wilder, we're going to be changing our Hawks Versus to the next week. And your cryptic comment this week, we don't really need to give one. It's going to be a Gene Wilder Versus, so I look forward to that. Should be fun. And Gaming with Ash returns on Wednesday, so yeah, I look forward to that. That is our show. I want to shout out everyone in chat that was in for a bit. I saw Jeremy Mills was in here tonight. Acer, a shout out as always, Acer 5000 on YouTube. At Acer1337, guests in a row on Twitter. Check him out there. Shout out WWE Light Heavyweight Champion, The Big Show. I see that Lego Man popped in for a minute. So what else we got? Tyler Powell, Ginger Boy Wonder was in for a little bit tonight. It's always nice to see everybody in chat. Go Sox Tim was in for a little bit. So yeah, thanks to everyone for joining us in live chat, and thanks everyone for joining us here on the network tonight for another edition of the WWE Raw Popcast. And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Siro and Disney. Follow the network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page and give it a like. It is Popcast Network on Facebook. We got new designs of Popcast Network shirts, Halloween Horror Nights theme. They're coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. And on top of that, we also have a Zazzle store to buy said merchandise. It's at Popcast Network. So, as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we are very pleased that once tonight once more, you have chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Shout out to Will again for being on tonight at HHNDawg, DAWG on the Twitter. Links to everyone's YouTube channels are in the description bar. And as always, just as Acer would say, don't be broken, obsolete mules, or else you will fade away and classy yourselves as obsolete. That being said, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.